What is Search Atlas? It's a platform that was built for agencies like you guys. We ourselves are an agency as well. Link Graph is my agency. We realized we needed to build a better platform for ourselves as an agency to scale.
As if you build it, they will come, but the actual line is if you build it, he will come.
On-page SEO experiments where we've injected knowledge graph entities on a whole bunch of pages, and then we've seen what are the results, and we've proven that.
All right, you beautiful motherfuckers. I have something today that I think you guys are going to really, really dig. I brought on Manick Bhan of Search Atlas, and I'll tell you, truth be told, we've had a lot of conversations privately in our wolf pack, like about different tools inside of our mastermind. And the word on the street is, and I'm not telling you guys you have to do this, but SEM Rush and Ahref and a lot of expensive tools you guys have been carrying really just get replaced by Search Atlas. Now, I'm not telling you guys you have to get rid of these tools and those kind of things, but I think you're going to really, really dig Search Atlas. So first of all, thank you, Manick, for coming on here and doing this, my man.
My pleasure. Good to be here, Frankie.
So let's just show folks like what we can do. Let's go into the sandbox with my man.
Yeah, let's take them through it. All right, guys. So thanks for being here. I'm Manick Bhan. I'm the founder, CEO, CTO of Search Atlas. And so what is Search Atlas? It's a platform that was built for agencies like you guys. We ourselves are an agency as well. Link Graph is my agency. Last year, we did over 10 million in revenue, and we're continuing to scale. And some of the challenges that we hit as we were building our agency is the challenge of just having to pay for all these tools and building these SOPs around one tool or another tool. And then as we grew our client base, one, we were paying more than we really wanted to pay. We were paying over $5,000 a month for all the software. And we were hitting seat issues where we didn't have enough seats for our team. People were getting kicked out, all this annoying stuff. And so as we kept moving forward in that journey, we realized we needed to build a better platform for ourselves as an agency to scale. And so enter Search Atlas. We started building this technology about 5 years ago that we were using internally for the agency. And now, after many, many, many years of hard work, it's a product that is actually, it's bulletproof. It's ready for agencies to use. We've got over 2,000 agencies and growing on the platform. And it is a full replacement for all the tools you see here, like SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz, Majestic. We bring metrics from those platforms into Search Atlas for you. We've got local SEO technology. We've got reporting tools that kill agency analytics. We've got AI content generation tools that are very cost effective. And I would also say best in class as well. I will show you guys those tools today. We've got rank tracking. We've got a really innovative rank tracker that uses your Google Search Console data and gives you unlimited keyword rank tracking. That's super cool. We've got local SEO heat maps, integrations with the local citation providers like Data Axle and beyond. We've got site auditing technology. We've got, and all this is white labeled. So probably the most important thing for agencies is to be able to keep your customers in your world and keep them retained in your platform. I like to say, who's the number one salesperson for Ahrefs and SEMrush? Agencies. When you demo your clients on those tools and they see those tools, what do you think they do? The ones that are willing to DIY, they will go and sign up for those tools themselves. So instead of you being a sales force for those companies, you can now be a sales force for yourself and your own software platform that's fully white labeled for you. So we'll show you guys that today. And it also includes press release distribution through Signal Genesis. Good friends, Lane and Matt there have integrated it into Search Atlas so we can use it today. So we'll walk you guys through it. And before we actually get directly into the software, I want to start by really giving you guys the question that we many years ago were trying to solve, which is, how does Google actually rank search results? There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of opinions about this, but we're not really interested in opinions. We're interested in facts and science and mathematics. So we chase this information through correlation analysis. And we're looking at Google search results, trying to correlate what are the ranking factors at play and how do they work.
Can I just interrupt you there? Just to say real quick that one of the things I learned is trust what Google does, not what Google says. I think part of the layer of confusion is Google says just just make good content. People will link to you and you'll just get rankings from just being good. And you know, that's never reality. If you actually watch what Google does, you become more like a data scientist trying to figure out if I move this lever, what happens?
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
there's Google right there. Field of Dreams. That's definitely Google right there.
Exactly. And this is a total crock of shit, right?
Yeah.
And plus it sucked too, and Kevin Costner's not a great actor. But this like idea that Google's been telling us, which is like don't actually do SEO, is self-defeating, right? And so it's important for us to take the data-driven approach. We today now we're looking at a leak of over 14,000 attributes within Google's uh, warehouse of data. Prior to that, we were looking at 1,000 search factors, but at the end of the day, this is also a layer of confusion, right? I love that. I love the way you frame that, Frankie, which is it's confusing to look at search as such a complex beast, even though it is. The truth, I would say, is that search really falls into these four pillars of SEO, which are authority, content, UX and behavior signals, which relate to click-through rate and stuff, and then the technicals. Authority and UX and behavior are off-page signals, right, which relate to the links that we have, the user behavior of people on our website measured through Chrome, as well as the search results themselves. That's all the off-page signals that Google's using. And of course, the other signals are on-page signals. So that relates to our web pages and their content, the text, the HTML, the schema markup, all those types of things.
By the way, you
And
just
so,
summarized very eloquently that what took me 5-6 years to figure out that it's just the basics done really well.
basics done really well is all it is. Yeah. And you know, we're gonna dive into that even more deeply, Frankie, when we look at Auto today, which is a new product that we just announced and are launching. And we're going to be giving a special access for Beyond Agency Profit members who decide they want to try it out to get into the beta before everyone else does. We've got 2,000, it's actually 1,900 agencies on the wait list for it. And you guys are going to get to go to the top of the wait list if you guys want to give it a test run, which is just really optimizing the basics in an automated way. So we'll get there. But before we get there, I want to build up to it to show you guys this concept of doing the data science and the experimentation, the experiments that we've been doing to really understand SEO is math. It's mathematics. Obviously, there's no person there that's determining each ranking for each keyword. They do have manual humans that are basically classifying information, but ultimately it's a math problem. We talked about this not being true. And
can I just say, by the way, as a little aside, that's one of the most misquoted things in history. I also remember it as if you build it, they will come, but the actual line is if you build it, he will come, in reference to Shoeless Joe Jackson. There, random movie quote. Yeah.
Wow, Frankie, nice flex. Nice flex.
There
Didn't
you
realize
go.
you were.
No, I was wrong about it for like 15 years, and I was like, no way, I had to rewatch it because I'm like, we all know
Well,
it.
it would mess up my slides. It would really mess up my slides, so I don't appreciate you shitting all over my slide there. Maybe we can edit this part out of the video, or we can keep it, whatever. Yeah. So enter our blueprint, and this is the holistic SEO blueprint that we use at LinkGraph. It basically combines all four of those pillars of SEO. If you guys want this, like you guys can have it. Just here's the QR code, download it, have fun with it. You can use it for your client pitches. If it's helpful to you guys, happy to share it. What we found is that blueprint allows us to get results like this. This is for Shutterfly. They're one of our customers. We've also used it to get amazing results in local SEO. This was for a law firm in the local space.
Yeah.
This is that law firm, their performance on web, and the results we've gotten for them through Holistic. We've also been able to do some cool fancy work where we only do technical SEO. This was the only thing we did, and we got a huge shift, positive ranking surge for US self-storage. That was just by manipulating the internal linking dynamics of the website. They've got like, a couple million pages. And so you can also get huge results just through one of the four pillars, but it's better to use all four of them if you can. More case studies here, and I've got a whole document with like more case studies that from our clients and the results that we've gotten through practicing.
A little bit down. I just wanted to see a name there because I'm pretty sure I know that guy. Trade Porter. Yeah, Richard Harris. I know Richard Harris. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Nice. Awesome. So these are just like a selection of our case studies. We do white label. We also have brands that come to us. Usually they're Fortune 500 brands or large businesses that we work with that need help with their SEO. And so we've had a lot of time to refine the holistic SEO blueprint and figure out what works. And we've tried a lot of things. We've thrown a lot of spaghetti at the wall. My experiments team, I spend over $20,000 a month on our experiments division. All they do every week, and I meet with them every single week, is we go over experiments, SEO tests, we look at the data, we see what worked and we see what didn't work. So when we talk about holistic SEO and we look at the components of the blueprint, we know that every single one of those blueprints, we have done single variant tests where we've changed one thing on the website and nothing else. And these are on our test sites, by the way. We have a PBN network of over 300 sites that we use for these experiments where we'll change one thing alone, and then we wait a week and we measure. And then we look at the results. And because we're testing it on a lot of sites, a lot of pages, and changing one thing, we're able to isolate a blueprint of strategies that we're 100% sure are proven and are effective. We have people come to us and say, hey, have you tried this one thing? Like one of the things recently that we came across was this thing called GeoCircles. We tested it. We proved that it doesn't work. That happens all the time. I'd say like half of our experiments, even using other SEO tools and vendors, we use them when we find out that they don't actually work. And so we're always running these experiments and tests to see if we can build a better mousetrap, a better blueprint, and replicate repeatable success. And so that's been a large part of our mission for the last 7 years, has been really to build these case studies and isolate what works and what doesn't work. So this is an example of link building for a Google business profile where we only did cloud stacks through Search Atlas, and we measured the results after 1 week, changed nothing else. So we're able to really isolate what works and what doesn't work, simply put. We've done on-page SEO experiments where we've injected knowledge graph entities on a whole bunch of pages, and then we've seen what are the results, and we've proven that.
Can I just throw out there, as somebody who did SEO for like a decade, one of the things that can be really, really confusing for you guys is that there's so many competing opinions, and a lot of times those opinions get recycled and spouted as facts. And often they're true, but not always. And nothing beats what you're describing right here, which is just go try it yourself and see what happens. Like actually run an experiment, because a lot of at least when I was doing it, I don't think that much has changed. There's a lot of myths that get passed down as SEO facts. And, like, for example, like I remember a big thing back in the day was like, Google doesn't like it if you build a bunch of links really quickly. And so all these SEOs were like slow plotting, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, there's news sites that get like 10,000 links in an hour. Like if Google really hated speed, it's probably where you're getting them from. So I decided to experiment with like, how fast can we build them? Will I get de-indexed, or will the opposite happen? And that was one of those myths that you can only find out as you described, like, do I know this from data and actually testing, or do I know this because everybody says it and it's taken as gospel in our industry? And I just say that because to add to the confusion, there's a lot of things that get preached as gospel that aren't based on what you're describing here, which is actually trying it and seeing what happens.
For sure. That's so good. That's so good. So yeah. And I'll show you guys, we're serious about this. Like, we're hardcore scientists. We're doing real science, SEO science. I'll show you some of the experiments that we did. Here's one that we did, internal linking, where we only did internal links on 5 test sites, and we measured the results. And we proved that Google's using internal links to understand relationships between web pages. I used to think it was about passing PageRank, but we learned that it's actually much more powerful than that. And actually in the leak that came out yesterday, we're seeing that they're using the internal linking and the anchor text of those internal links to help understand what keywords to rank the page for. So that makes sense. Like, internal links are positively correlated with ranking well. Then we did a schema experiment where we added schema markup to 2 sites, and we did nothing else, and we measured the results. Boom, 21 to 8, huge improvement. through just adding schema markup and nothing else to the site. 100% of the pages we added schema to improved in ranking. So that was pretty amazing. We did offsite cloud stacks and measured the ranking improvement through that before we actually automated this approach and built it into Search Atlas. So this was another great experiment that we were able to use to understand how Google works through changing only one thing. Here's one that's on knowledge-based trust, which is about, if you guys aren't familiar with the term, I came across KBT as a term from a Google patent where they explain how they analyze the information on the internet and break it down into what they call contextual domains. Basically, it's the niches that make up all of the information that you can think of, like on Earth and beyond. And knowledge-based trust is how they basically extract factual information. So the way that we add facts to websites is through question and answer. So here we proved that by adding Q&A and FAQ to websites, that the rankings go up. And this is the only thing that was changed, just FAQs. In some cases, these were FAQs where we got the rich snippets on Google within a week. We had one of my friends, Gabe, was actually giving me a case study for auto where he got a huge domination on page 1 for local SERPs for an auto dealership that he owns and runs with FAQs and KBT, and just took over the whole first page. So this is another powerful confirmation of the KBT ranking factor that no one really talks about. And then NLP, where a lot of people have talked about this. And NLP, guys, if you're not as familiar, it's about the entity map of the knowledge graph that Google has, where they basically have everything that there is in the universe in their database and the facts that are about it. And they have every fact about that thing in a database. NLP is basically us adding in all the related entities to what Google calls the focus entity. That's the exact terminology that they use in their NLP database model connected to every web page. And so by adding in all this NLP information into the page, even if it's in a hidden div, so mind you, this is like not actually visible. This is a hidden div. Even just doing this to the page, boom. This one set a 12.7 to 7.8, 50 to 36, like major ranking improvements within 7 days. Not like we were waiting around for a month. This is just a 7-day window to see how fast we can get the movement and what the movement is. So big confirmation here of a bunch of really important ranking.
And not just that, it allows you to figure out the 80-20 of not just what moves the needle, but what's most important in that needle moving process.
Totally. Once you know how to move the needle, everything else is noise. Cut it out of the equation and just deliver the blueprint and get the results. So anyways, no more case studies. You guys get it. This shit works. And so the question would be like, who wants to really 10x the SEO of their clients, right? Hopefully that's everyone on this call. If you don't want to 10x the SEO of your clients, just stop watching this video. This is not
you're probably in the wrong room though. If you guys are listening to me and you don't want to get better stuff for your clients, probably should go listen to one of those 0 to 10K scale to the moon with book appointments kind of quote unquote gurus.
Totally. Or go to TikTok and you can rot your brain there too. But
or become an OnlyFans model. Like, don't rule that out. That's a good career option.
Amazing career option. I don't think you even need a degree for that one. So definitely some wins there. So this has been kind of my career is understanding how search works and building and scaling agencies, both as a partner through Search Atlas, as well as our own agency where we practice what we preach and we white label some of the harder stuff to do in SEO, like link building at scale. And I write and I share very freely all of our research. If you guys want one of my white papers, just hit me up. I'll give it to you. I don't gatekeep anything. We have SEO theory where we also share our knowledge, and I frequently present at conferences and some of these websites like G2, Capterra, Forbes, and stuff. So I'm going to give you guys the holistic SEO blueprint. We already went through some of these experiments for how we got there, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on them. This is how we think about search from a Google search perspective, that these are the most effective techniques to boost our our rankings and our ranking signals for Google within each of the 4 key pillars of authority, content, technical, UX, and behavior. So on the authority side, it's different forms of link building. Guest posts is a more expensive form of link building. We can also do link building through press releases. I really like Signal Genesis for that. Cloud Stacks is another effective way to do authority building. For content, we went over some of these components. Technicals, we'll actually get to how we automate all of this through auto. So let's dive right in. So what if we could automate this? What if we could figure out a way to fix all those issues on the site in one workflow that uses AI? That was my goal when I started building auto last year. We already had all the tools in the Search Atlas. We had all the components, but you had to learn how to use the components. You had to learn, okay, I use the Site Explorer. Site Explorer lets me track the performance of different websites. I can see the keywords they rank for, do content research. We can use GSC to like track keyword rankings as well. We've got our content optimizer to bring the NLP data into the equation to figure out if I want to rank for a certain keyword. How do I actually create the content and make that content optimized for these topical terms so that I can compete with these guys on Google search, right? We were doing all this as a workflow, procedurally, step by step, and it was painful. And I mean, it takes a lot of time. We created auto to automate this workflow, and I'm going to show it to you today. The thing that I think is so powerful about auto and Search Atlas is that we're a lot different than the Ahrefs SEMrushes of the world. Those guys have reporting tools. They just give you data, they give you reports, they give you numbers, they give you data analysis. That is not helpful, right? You have to look at that data and figure out what to do with it. And oftentimes I see SEOs that I respect, when I ask them, like, what did you work on today? They basically talk to me about all the SEO strategy research work that they did, but they didn't actually change the client's website. They didn't build a link. They didn't do anything to the website's landing page. And so the client's not going to actually move forward unless you do something. Yeah. Auto and Search Atlas is the opposite of that. It's automated. It's action-oriented. It can do 90% of the work for you. And it's fully white labeled, and it's been built for agencies. So we're not as interested in the brands themselves. We're really interested in agencies and serving agencies here today. So without further ado, let's jump into auto. So this is auto. This is what it looks like. Auto is a holistic SEO delivery system using AI on-page SEO agents for the website to automate the majority of on-page and off-page SEO tasks. So I'll just kind of walk you through it, taking it from the top all the way down. So first, we give you an optimization score. So when you first set up your auto project, your optimization score is not going to be very good because you're going to see a bunch of title tags that are missing. You're going to see a bunch of meta descriptions that maybe are missing as well, or suboptimal. We can look at the meta descriptions here. You can see. I
like this, just so you guys know, like as Manick talked about being action oriented, like it's telling you exactly what to fix and where, and giving you basically a step-by-step SEO blueprint, which I think is half the battle, is figuring out like, what do I even need to actually fix to like move this thing forward. And as he mentioned, I can confirm what he says, that he spent a long time in an analysis to figure out what to actually do. And this has made it so that like, just update the title tag, click here and change this,
Right. And do it, right? So one question that maybe some of you guys have right now is like, well, how is auto actually doing this? How is it connecting to the website to make these changes? And can auto connect to my client's website? Those would be good questions to ask. The way that we figured this out from the very beginning, I was adamant that we needed to be able to do this on any website on the internet, not just WordPress sites or whatever web page builder, that this needed to be able to work on any site. And so our integration mechanism is through JavaScript. So all you have to do, copy this JavaScript code and add it to the website. And what this will allow us to do is take control of all the on-page SEO of the website through the JavaScript. So I can actually show you guys this and prove to you guys that this is real. There's no snake oil here.
Can I just add real quick that benefit, like for those of you guys who have teams, like getting your SEO team to be able to execute is like when you have it in minute little step-by-steps that they can do is 1,000 times easier than if you say, go fix the on page of our client's website as where, when they have a, 100-point checklist, update this title tag, change this image right here, internal linking structure, et cetera, et cetera. Like
Right.
your ability to
And then,
execute with people goes up 100x when you can break it down to minute step by step.
and Frankie, you don't want to go into WordPress and like go look in there and see what the title tag is and it hasn't been implemented properly. Like you're much too busy for that. And the SEO team lead also shouldn't be doing that either. You need to be able to check and QA the SEO work in a system like this, where you can actually look and see what did my SEO implementation team, what did they choose as the title tags? What did they plug in as my meta descriptions? You can review it here. And if there's something that you don't like, instead of having to create a ticket for them or a Slack message to say, go fix this, just go in here and you can make the change yourself. It's so simple.
Edit it on a single dashboard. So it almost doubles as a project management.
It does actually double as project management. And I'll show you that because we built this for agencies, we're also going to give you automated reporting that includes GSC, GA, Google Business Profile, heat maps, rank tracking, and a task board. Everything that's completed in auto is going to get pushed to the task board so you can give that to your client. It's powered by Notion. You can give it to the client and show them these are all the tasks that we completed for you this month, client. We've been hard at work, and they know what's been going on. We're also working on AI storytelling, where we're summarizing those task boards into like a paragraph that you can copy and paste and send us an email, so you can keep your clients informed. And it just makes it easier for your customer success team to be able to scale up the client service side. When you grow your agency, you got a lot of clients to manage, and you don't have a lot of time to be able to do that type of work, like kind of in your head, because it's a lot to do. So we try to streamline that using AI. So I want to show you guys that this works, and it's totally like it's legit. Let's take this page, how to do keyword research. So the original title tag was how to do keyword research -search atlas -advanced SEO software. The auto suggested fixes maximize SEO with search atlas, master keyword research. So let's go to this page and we'll look at the title tag. Can you guys see this pop up on my screen?
Yeah.
This Chrome extension? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see it's showing the correct title tag. If I didn't want this change, I can just undeploy it and I'll roll it back. Now I'll go back to this page, hit refresh, and the old title tag is back, right? So it's real time. When you hit deploy, it gets deployed immediately to the site. When you make a change like this, hello world, hit save, go back here. All right, so I said it was real time. Maybe it takes a couple seconds. I got to give the system a second to process.
Unacceptable.
Oh, and did I deploy this? Just make sure it's deployed. All right. There it is. Hello world. So it pushes to the site within a couple seconds. Usually within
Can I just
5
add,
seconds.
for those of you guys who are like not just doing, 1-2 clients, the amount of logins and passwords and things you have to manage in order just to remember, like we used to, I long before the days of like LastPass and tools like that, like I had spreadsheets full of fucking client passwords and shit like that. The ability just to edit it all in a single database without having to memorize like 27 different things to get in here, that alone is like, you guys should just get it just for that reason.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then when you layer on top of it, like the Google Search Console part, where you're like, what's the Google Search Console that has the site's data? Or what's the GBP Google account that has all this data in it, right? Like there's a lot of other muck work that goes into managing the agency. The cool thing about Search Atlas is once you connect all your Search Consoles and your Google Business Profile, we're going to connect into Search Console here and your Google Business Profile to make the recommendations smarter and better. I didn't go over the knowledge graph, but the knowledge graph is really the brain of the AI model in auto, where it uses your business information that you plugged into the knowledge graph, the top pages that come from Search Console that you can modify and change as you wish, your social profiles. So all of the social bookmarks, let's call them that, of the brand as they exist on the internet across all these different profile websites, those are all linked in here into the knowledge graph. And I'll show you guys how we use this data to do some cool stuff in just a little bit. Authorship and image and videos as well. So you just build that knowledge graph for the business, and then Auto is going to use that data when we're connecting to ChatGPT along or Claude, depending on which AI model you want to use. So if you want to use Claude, we've got Claude. We've also got OpenAI as a model that you can use here as well. So it's up to you. My personal preference is Claude. I think it's a little bit better. It humanizes the content a little bit more. I also have noticed that for AI content generation, Claude removes some of the AI artifacts that you have to work really hard to get rid of out of chat. So that would
You mean like the emojis and stuff like that, where you can just kind of tell it was written by ChatGPT?
Yeah, and also those like silly aphorisms like a treasure trove of insight, or you know, just those trite phrases.
There's definitely like elements where you can tell ChatGPT wrote this.
Exactly. Claude humanizes it a lot better. Even if you're using OpenAI, just so you guys know, our prompts, we've tried to include all of that information in our background prompts where we tell chat, don't say this, don't say that. It's like over 100 different things we're telling them not to say, so that even if you do use OpenAI, the quality is actually pretty good, because we've had to do all that work, but I still think Claude's better. That's my personal preference. As, by the way, the AI models change and there's a new LLM, Llama 7 from Facebook, or Grok releases a new model or whatever it is, we're always up to date. We're always integrating them in. And whatever's the best in class that's available out there based on our research and our usage, you'll find that in our platform. You'll always find it in here. So this is also, don't think about Auto as like, oh, it's a tool that's built and it's done. Auto is never done. We're always adding more to it. And right now we're starting with SEO. Then we're going to do PPC is the next Auto that we're going to build. And we're going to keep building into SEO as well. So it's never going to be over. So just to show you guys some of these other modules, because there's a lot in here. It also fixes those missing image alts for you. So one of the biggest nuisances of on-page SEO is fixing the images and adding alt text across the website. So what Auto does is it finds all the images on our site that are missing the image alt. On our site, there's over 1,000 of them, and it's going to use the image text right now to guess at what the best alt text should be. We're actually about to update the algorithm. The updated algorithm goes live about next week, where we're going to be using a few different data points, including the page URL and the Google Search Console top keywords and NLP data to enhance the image alt texts. Our philosophy around the image alt text is, let's target the keyword the page wants to rank for. Google uses the images on the page and their alt text as a kind of a boosting mechanism to boost the relevance for the page for the keywords that are in the alt. So if you want to rank a page for, let's say, emergency plumber Dallas, make sure the image alts on that page say emergency plumber Dallas, and that will boost your ability to rank for that keyword. We're going to take that in the algorithm for you. So the next version will be even sharper, just so you're aware. But basically, whatever you plug in here is going to get updated across the site. If you need to see the images, you can also click on them and see what the image is. So that's the image alt text one.
And again, multiply this by, for me, what would have been 150 client sites times 30 pages on their website, and each one of those having different logins, different passwords, not all of them being on WordPress, some of them being on, all kinds of different other systems, some of them being custom built, or you can just go one place and be able to edit them with a click. Like every single time you do that, you're saving yourself 30, 60 seconds of your life that you would never get back otherwise.
Totally. And when you add up everything in here, this is probably going to be over 200, 300 hours of work that has been delivered within probably about 20, 30 minutes between configuring your knowledge graph, connecting the Search Console, the Google Business Profile, some of the stuff you need to do up front, and then it's able to deliver a massive amount of work. I call it the SEO supernova. So like in our experiments, We're just doing one of these things and measuring the ranking improvement. What happens when you stack all these together? We've got case studies like coming out like crazy in our auto testing group from agencies. I did one last week with Josh Blakely, who was telling me about how he had a GBP that he was using for some of his clients that had just been dormant, did nothing with it. It would get like 1 or 2 calls like per month. As soon as he installed auto, they were getting 4 or 5 calls a day. I'm not lying. Like, we've got the testimonial. You can ask Josh about it. Huge results. And other case studies where we look at Search Console and we see these massive spikes across a lot of websites. So auto, for me now, is really, my goal is for it to become a case study engine where we can allow any agency to deliver world-class SEO case studies for their clients and thereby retain them. Get the client results, get their phone buzzing, get their phone ringing. Clients are going to stop canceling. And then when you give them the reporting, which I'll show you in a second, they're going to be able to follow the progress and see all the gains and follow along, and then they're not going to cancel. True story. Our agency's churn used to be between 4 and 5% client churn per month. That was our churn. Now we have months where there's 0% churn in our agency, which is insane.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, like, best way to build the agency, focus on growth, get new deals in. There's not a lot of problems that money can't solve. And while that's true in a lot of regards, churn is the enemy to scaling the agency. You guys will figure this out. You'll get to a point where you'll see that your new revenue coming in is being offset by the revenue going out, and you're just staying flat. And you'll stay flat for a while. We hit that link graph last year. And now that we have Search Atlas and we have auto, we're starting to see a nice crescendo where every month we're adding over 50K a month of new monthly recurring revenue, and we're not losing anything. So our agency, because we're not expecting that new 50K to churn, we're scaling by about 0.6 million of annual recurring revenue per year, which will add hopefully another 5 to 6 million on top of our total revenue for the agency.
And if you want to sell it, by the way, for those of you guys, who mentioned to me, you want to sell your agency cash out, you're 100 times more sellable when people are staying and paying than when the churn is basically offset by new sales.
Got that right. Yep. And there's some other nice things about auto, which is once it's installed, they can't really uninstall it. It's like, it's part of now the technology that powers their website. It's like a hosting fee, like they would pay for their WordPress site, or like, if they're using High Level or other tools like that. It's just baked into how that business runs and operates, and they can't really function without it. So we've made ourselves and our agency indispensable. They can't unplug us. So let me just keep kind of cranking through this. I'll be less verbose. It fixes link issues. It will inject the meta keywords tag into the page. A lot of people say, hey, Google doesn't use that anymore. Back to what you were saying earlier, Frankie, about like the myth of like what Google says versus what is real. Like, we have to parse those two things apart. Even though they say they don't use the tag, in our correlation studies, they use the tag. Headings, a lot of pages that you have on the site will be missing H1s, H2s, H3s, or H4s. This figures out the pages and the headings that are missed, and based on the page's target keywords and the existing content on the page, will AI generate and insert a new heading into the page for you. So it's pretty amazing. It optimizes your existing H1s, H2s, H3s, H4s. We found that Google uses those tags, H1 through 4, to separate the AI spam from the human generated content, because typically AI spam doesn't have good heading structure.
No.
If you guys are spamming the internet using Search Atlas,
it's usually just a wall of text.
It's like a wall of text, right? If you were using Search Atlas, like, we've already given you the H1s, H2s, H3s, H4s, and the NLP in here. So the content that you would be producing through Search Atlas is automatically adhering to best practices, and it won't show up in here. But if you've created content or the client created content before on the site, you're going to find that there's always issues like this. This cleans all those heading issues up. Canonical links can fix those if you've got any issues with that. Adds open graph tags, Twitter tags, and other miscellaneous on-page SEO issues, like, if you're using like a BG sound tag or you're missing a language tag, it can fix those for you. So all that is like what I would consider to be foundational SEO. Foundational SEO. Let's get into some of the more advanced stuff. So this is the kind of stuff that we could only really do using software. One of my favorite things is to go into Search Console for a web page that, like a client site, one of the web pages, and find the keywords that the page is ranking for, but are not in the content, right? So Google understands that this page is relevant for the keyword research checklist, but apparently we haven't actually put that into the content. So bad on us. Here's probably a better example. Best Amazon keyword research tool. We've got a bunch of variants that we didn't actually include in the content. We should have included them, but we didn't. This figures out that these are keywords the page is already ranking for and inserts them into the content. Instantly, our rankings for all these keywords are going to get better. We're going to skyrocket because now our term relevance for this search query for that landing page just got boosted because now we've got a one-to-one match. So this just deployed all of that across 126 pages, a total of 860 keyword insertions across the website. To do this by hand would have been absolutely insane. The amount of hours that this just saved us alone is probably like 50 to 100 hours.
Yeah,
work,
60
right?
seconds of analysis just on each individual page to do that the old way.
This is another really good one, is the internal linking strategy. We all know that this is important. We've proven, I talked about this earlier in the call, but we've proven that you can just get ranking improvements through internal links, right? This automates and delivers those internal links into the site for you. It looks at the target pages that you care about the most based on the ones you've specified in the knowledge graph, where you've said, these are my top pages. What it does is it analyzes those top pages and figures out what are other pages on the site that have content that is relevant to this page that we can use to create automatic internal linking from these pages to our target page or our pillar page. And it goes ahead and does those for us. So just an update on this, we are releasing a new algorithm that's using basically content vectors and vector space, doing a machine learning analysis called k-means clustering, where we're basically finding content that's the most similar and relevant to what this page is about, and then using that to drive the internal linking recommendations. Right now, these are being driven using Google's own search engine for this page. What are the relevant pages to this page? And we found that Google's search engine is not as good as the k-means clustering. So that algorithm is going to be released next week. If you want to add additional pages to this, just go in here, click add, and plug in the page you want to add the internal link to, and Auto will take care of that for you and build the internal links. So this is another huge automation to fix your clients' pillar pages and get them ranking better through the internal linking. It'll also find blog posts that are relevant. I mean, to do that by hand, the way that we used to do it was we'd look at all the blogs and figure out, oh, these blogs are relevant to our pillar page. We'll manually connect them up. And that was like maybe 3 hours of work to do that. Now this is like automated. It takes no time at all. So we're able to deliver, in this example, 12 pages, 99 internal links being delivered automatically. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Semantic analysis and knowledge graph optimization. So we've known for a long time that Google is really focused on content relevance of landing pages. They measure the relevance of those landing pages through entities. That scoring system is what we have here in the Content Assistant and Search Atlas. Here you can see the content score of this page is an 82 out of 100. You would have had to really do the work to integrate these entities into the content manually. This is inserting them in there for you. So it basically automates that step. You don't have to use the Content Assistant anymore. It will identify all the topical terms from the tool, inject them into the page, and it gives you this badass schema that used to take a lot of time to build manually. We had to use separate third-party tools to build the schema, and now we're able to not only build the schema, make sure it's correct, include all the entity references to Wikipedia, Wikidata, Google's own knowledge graph in the schema markup. So you guys remember I mentioned that experiment we did with schema where we added schema. This is what we were adding to the pages in the schema format and nothing else. So now this has been automated for you as well. All you have to do is review these topical terms, make sure these are relevant to the target keywords that are being put in here, make sure these target keywords are relevant to the page. Again, these are being dictated by what you set up here in the knowledge graph for your top pages and top keywords. If you've done that properly, this should all make sense and it will be pretty automated. So here we've automated deploying 1,412 NLP terms to the site, which is insane. Just one final note on this is that Search Atlas will reanalyze these pages as the search engine changes and as the content dynamics change. You will see that the content scores of your content will start to degrade over time because everyone's always improving their content. Search Atlas can automatically find out those opportunities and add those new terms in here for you and put them on the site. So you don't have to do that re-optimization work. It's doing it for you. Okay. So this is probably one of my favorites in Auto. Then we've got the knowledge-based trust module, which draws on the factual ranking signals that Google uses, where they're looking at how many facts are on the page and how many of those facts are accurate or novel. And this is an engine to allow you to automatically generate your FAQs and deploy them to your landing pages. This is huge. We did this KBT experiment and we saw some awesome gains on the page for just inserting KBT into the landing pages and nothing else. So definitely recommend this. All right, I'm going to pause there before we get into the topical maps. Frankie, what do you think so far?
Yeah, I mean, you've basically taken 200 hours of SEO work and condensed it down to 10, 20 minutes in a way where it's easy and trackable to implement. Like I just think about, everything you described to a certain extent, we used to do by hand. Look, I had a bazillion VAs to do all this stuff and tracking it and staying on top of it. And the fact that you can do this with a couple of clicks to me as an old man who, get off my lawn, shoot at people is pretty impressed.
For sure. We would spend so many hours on this. And the thing is, like when we were doing this by hand, it's not that we didn't want to do all this stuff. It's that for whatever our client was paying us, we couldn't hit all this stuff in month one. There was no way. For $2,000 or $5,000, that's a good enough budget, but like we have to also keep some of that budget for profit. And the amount of budget we were spending on our client campaigns, we couldn't afford to do all this type of work across the site.
Yeah,
so it's a lot.
Agencies that in my world who charge 10K a month and then spend 9,300 a month to deliver on that, and it doesn't leave a lot of margin for error if that client cancels or employee leaves or something like that. Like it's just not a lot of room for growth in there. And as you said, as you can get more out of less, like it's better for everyone involved. Plus, I would also add that your ability to show the client what you've actually done, especially in those early stages, there's always that limbo in SEO before the phone is ringing off the hook and they're wondering like, what the hell are you doing? When you can show them like an itemized list of, we did this, we did that, we've updated this, we changed that. Here's why we're doing this. Here's why we're doing that. We're on top of all these changes. Your SEO optimization score was 41 when we started. Now you're a 97. We're still going to do this and that next month. Like you make it so much easier to then, like you say, like totally eliminate churn and get people to pay you month after month, where you guys start to get real momentum. And you get off that sales hamster wheel, which is what I want to see for so many of you guys, which is like always feeling like you have to sell to just, like you could almost retire with the clients you have. Like not saying I have it all figured out, but my oldest client has been paying me since 2009. And I'll tell you, it makes life easier that like there's payments coming in for like 15 straight years. Like entrepreneurship is stressful enough without all the wild swings in income. The more you have like, something you can actually show a client that's actually moving the needle and is measurable, the more it translates to you guys of like more profit that you actually get to keep to do the stuff you really want to do in life. So I'm not saying this is a magic bullet, but I'll tell you, this is 1,000 times easier than even how this was to do just a year ago, 2 years ago.
100%.
Never mind how much it was when I started 17 years ago doing this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But when I started, I wish I even knew about all these techniques and strategies. We were still learning as we were building the agency. We were becoming better at our craft as we went along. And I wish now that I had a blueprint that I could have looked at that had been tested, that had done all this work and homework that was also evolving, that I could just insert and leverage and enter an agency would have saved us a lot of time. Also reporting, like we sucked at reporting. One of the big problems is like setting up good reporting that shows the client enough of the right stuff. That's also something that can automatically update as the campaign progresses to show them the progress that they're getting. And we had such a hard time reporting it at our agency that we built the report builder to be a configurable report where you can combine all the data sources that you need to combine to show your clients the results and what they're getting out of the campaign. So you're able to bring in the metrics from our Site Explorer. You've got these task boards powered by Notion. These are basically yours. You can configure them. You can use them. You can build one for every client and you get that for free. There's no additional charge for this. And we can push the auto work and tasks done to this board. So you can use that for reporting purposes. Then you can go down and show them the green from the GA data, showing them the traffic improvement and the gains they've been getting. You can also show them their Google Search Console metrics in here if you want to. If they're a local business and you want to show them like local SEO heat maps, bring in the heat map data in here, and you can configure as many heat maps as you want. You can switch the keywords to whatever keywords you want to show them. You can show them side-by-side comparisons of date 1, date 2. Well, actually, why don't I just pop into the local SEO tool really quick? So these are our heat maps. We can show you before and after comparisons for rankings. So you can show that to your clients. If you're running auto, these are going to look pretty good. So you're going to be able to show them a lot of those gains. You can also show them what we call the local SEO showdown, where you can see and compare if there's someone else that's beating them in search. Are they beating them everywhere, or are they beating them just like in some areas of the map? So here we can compare the good guys to the bad guys and measure how their heat maps compare. This is also totally shareable, so you can share this. And by the way, this is all going to be white labeled too, right? Because you're going to go in here to the agency hubs and configure your logo and your DNS so that this is all going to look back to your agency. And they're not going to know about Search Atlas. They're not going to know about anything else besides you guys. And you'll keep them in your world. So that local SEO data gets pulled in right here. And if you got the GBP connection as well, you can bring in the Google Business Profile Analytics to show them the impressions, the calls, the direction requests. You can see how those are trending over time. You can enable, disable these. You can delete them. If you don't like one of the charts, you can just get rid of it. This is fully configurable. So we did this because we were spending like literally, I think it was like 2.5K a month on agency analytics for their product. And we're like, dude, this is ridiculous. All this is a reporting tool. They're not actually doing really anything of real substance. So we wanted to deactivate it. And now we can. This also can schedule the emails to go out weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever cadence you need. And you can send the emails to someone on your team, or you can send them directly to the clients. They get an email on the first of every month. And you can configure your layout if you want to add in custom text in here. Whoops. Other charts inside Search Atlas. We've got some cool ones in GSC, and we're always adding new stuff. So we're going to be adding in Facebook modules. We're going to be adding in Google Ads modules for those of you guys that are into PPC. You'll be able to get that in here too. And hopefully move your agency more toward like a full search model where it's SEO and PPC, because then you'll see a lot.
Say that by and large, like especially those of you guys who work with local businesses, like their experience is not that agencies are awesome and super professional and on top of things. They mostly have an experience of they pay people and they disappear and no phone calls and nothing happens. And they never hear from them again. And so they experience it as, a scam, take my money and run. And this is really the opposite of that in a way where you build consistency. I always say like a really good agency is a boring factory. And part of what Manick is showing with a boring factory is when you have reports that go out weekly and they see measured improvement over time and they see stuff is happening, they see you're doing stuff and they can see visually what it is you're doing. What ends up happening is you just look like a pro. You just look like a pro that should be, sticking around. And a lot of this is before the phone calls and before everything works in, is like their assessment of you is not just based on, did you actually do work? It's really a lot of this, how you show up. Do you have tools? Are you on top of it? Can they see that stuff is actually getting done? Is what you're doing making sense to them? Are the reasons why you're doing that and things like that? And I always say there's this limbo period where it's like usually like 0 to 90 days in SEO where they don't really know what you're doing. And a lot of it is if you don't sell that properly, well, that used to be a lot of manual work. The ability to be able to send client reports and show them you're doing stuff and that stuff is happening and that it's moving the needle and you're doing the things that actually matter is like, it's a very, very powerful thing to get clients to buy in and mentally think, thank God I found these guys because they actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, if you can get to the point where your agency is the reason that client is successful, the reason they're in business, where clients are readily giving you testimonial and saying, Frankie, because of you, right? I got to do this in my life. I got to do this because my business blew up. That's where we all want to be, right? That's where we want our agencies to be able to operate from. I think genuinely we all have that desire. It's hard to do that though in practice, as we all know, right? The agency world is unforgiving. And a lot of times, despite our best efforts, our clients don't always appreciate what we've done for them. What we've tried to do is build this system, this boring factory, make it a little bit better of a factory, and hopefully make it for the people who are implementing it a little bit less boring. Because the real work going into the CMS and making the edits and the changes, it is freaking boring. At least now we've got a tool that makes the strategy more cohesive and also allows us visually to help tell the story. Now, this is one of my favorite tools for storytelling. It's our topic map tool. And what the topic map tool is, allows us to define our pillar page, the page that we care about on our website. This is super powered up by GSC, so we know what are the pages that matter and what's the top keyword on that page. We select the pillar pages and their target keywords, and then we build the map. That map looks like this topic map. And so the way that this works is if the keyword we really care about is backlink checker, for example, right? We need to write a bunch of articles that go into some high-level category topics like SEO ranking factors, like backlink analysis tools, like these pillar topics here. And in order to boost up the amount of authority we're getting in these pillar topics, we build these long tail articles. And part of the secret for how we do this is we want these long tail articles to link back to the pillar page using that anchor text, that backlink checker anchor text, and link back to this page on the website. When we do that, and we select the articles that we think are relevant and that we want to write about, we can update our topic map, and Search Atlas is going to basically keep a track of our content strategy and all the articles in this topic map. And then all you got to do is click Write Article with AI, and it will use the AI settings that you've configured here for how you want these articles to run. So I want a meta, I want a list, I want tables, I want to disable the conclusion. I want it to be third person, let's say, and I want the tone of voice to be professional. Let's add images. I want AI generated images for every H2. The global background is going to be inherited, so I'm not going to worry about that. And here you can see automatically, we're telling you, we're going to build that global internal link to the backlink checker page with the backlink checker keyword. You can add in more here if you want. And then if you want it to automatically publish to WordPress, we got you. Install the WordPress plugin on the WordPress site. WordPress will sync to your Search Atlas account, and the website will appear here in the drop-down list. And you can publish to drafts, or you can publish directly to the website. Right now, blog post is the best way to do it. We're working on a full AI landing page generator, which is a little bit futuristic. The AI technology is not quite there yet, but for now, just go for the blog posts and click update folder. Oops. Well, I'm going to disable that for now. And if you enable that, it would publish the website per your settings. And then you can basically go in here, write all the articles out. And so now the amount of effort that it takes to build a topic map, right? People, there are guys like Diggity, although I really respect him a lot, guys like Corey as well, who have talked a lot about topical authority and how powerful it is, and provided case studies. We've also done case studies on how powerful it is. They sell these topic maps for a lot of money, like like $2,000, $5K. I think Corey sells them for like 20,000. You can build your own topic maps here and get those same kind of case study results for a fraction of that price, right? And do this for all your clients. So this is one of my favorite tools in Search Atlas, and I think it's going to help a lot of agencies scale out the content side of their business with the latest innovations in the large language models like ChatGPT and Claude, with some finesse from Search Atlas.
Manick, I'm running, probably got about 5-10 minutes. Do you want to just show real quick the Google business places, and then maybe we could show folks how they can kind of try it for free?
Yeah, for sure. So let's look at the GBP automations here. So it does connect to your Google business profile, and what it can do is allow you to AI generate GBP posts, generate an AI image, generate AI content, and schedule your content for either today or build a full content calendar for the GBP out into the future. So what I would do for your agency is have one of your SEO team members, your VAs, go out and build out this content and schedule it. And when you publish it, what's going to happen, I'll show you guys an example. You're going to get this link here that's going to show you on Google the GBP post that's been published. So here you can see, here's one that we published on our GBP. These are just tests. But these will get published directly to the GBP, and they will influence the rankings. We also have the Q&A suggestions done for you. So you can AI generate questions and answers, publish Q&As to the site. This is going to use data from the Google business profile to figure out what keywords is the business ranking for, but maybe not ranking that well for. And it'll create questions that bring those keywords in to the GBP itself and answer them thoughtfully. And then you can publish them, as well as reviews. So this used to be something that we had team members just working on this and only this. Now we have a nice automated framework for automating all the GBP responses. So you configure this, you give the tone of voice, the company info settings, and then you can create an AI prompt for each different review category. So you might want to have a different prompt for the 1-star reviews to apologize to the customer. And you've got options here. So you can either auto reply and roll like off safety, where it'll just publish automatically to the review. You're not going to have to review it. If you want to review it before it publishes, you can set this here and it will go into your auto to be reviewed. You can also use a static template as well. So this pretty much automates a lot of the grunt work on the GBP optimization side. The next thing I want to show you guys is Cloud Stacks. So this is a form of link building where we're able to AI generate and publish content to 13 different cloud websites. The process is very simple. You pick your page, you pick the target keyword you want to rank better for, and Search Atlas will be able to AI generate that content for you. You can revise it and edit it a little bit if you want to make changes to it. If you want to roll with the AI generated content the way that it is, this is what it looks like. This content is going to get published all over the internet and automatically sent to indexers for you. So you can AI generate these cloud stacks. They internally link to your website. Those internal links will boost the rankings and be automatically submitted to indexers and indexed. So you'll be able to track the status here. So people on the internet, there's some people that sell cloud stacks for like $150 a pop. That's insane. If you ask me, I think that's ridiculous. We don't ask you to host anything. It's all integrated into Search Atlas. All you have to do is just run this here. Our cost for additional cloud stacks right now is $20. We're trying to bring that cost down. So already it's like 80% cheaper than anything else that's out there and gives you a reliable link building strategy that will boost your rankings. We've tested cloud stacks out and in the experiment, I can't find it somewhere here, 20 plus position improvement in rankings. So you're going to get that. And We're also going to be adding in press releases through Signal Genesis. That's going to be coming in the next 2 weeks as well. So look out for that here below the hyperdrive module. And we'll also be doing local landing pages, automated GBP metadata optimization. We're going to be integrating a link building, guest posting exchange, and we're also going to be automating the aggregator network submissions. So this is pretty much our
Dirty.
Our whole
Straight up dirty.
Yeah, straight up.
You're a bad man in a good way. Can we wrap up a little bit here and let's just show folks how they can get it. And I got a couple of cool bonuses for you guys as well. You want to talk just a couple options we got?
Yeah, so I'll walk you guys through this. So out of respect for the agency owners and the agency owner hustle, for all the agency owners and Beyond Agency Profits, we're giving you guys a discount on the Pro plan and 3 free auto activations as a part of your plan. Auto is expected to cost $99 a month per activation. You guys are going to be getting access to auto and the hyperdrive module for link building, all inclusive as a part of this. So total value here is something like probably around $800 a month, call it. You guys are going to get all of that for $319 if you use this QR code, which is going to be valid until the 28th. And you'll be added to the auto early access list. So you'll be able to join the community of agencies that are able to deploy it and get the early active on it. So you'll be able to deploy it for your agents before anyone else. You're also going to get bonuses. Routinely, we give you guys more quotas. We're always really giving with our community. So if you guys want to take advantage of that option, check this out over here. If you want to check Search Atlas out a little bit more and play with it, for Frankie and for the Beyond Agency Profits community, you guys are going to get an extended free trial. Typically, our free trials are 7 days long. You guys are going to get the free trial for a month. So if you want to try it out and play with it, take advantage of this, but just be aware that if you want to get this activation and this discount, we don't ever discount Search Atlas or Auto. This is very rare that we're going to do this. This option will be going away on the 28th. So if you're going to do this, make sure you take advantage of this before the 28th. I highly recommend it. We've had no agencies complain. Instead, most of them are getting great case studies. So I think this is a great offer for you guys and hope you take us up on it. And again, Search Atlas.
That I had 2 things that I wanted to add in as well for you guys. For those of you guys who obviously are doing SEO as part of our 90-day challenge where I showed you guys kind of building an agency from start. For those of you guys who are interested, if you decide to grab a paid plan, I will also include the actual video pitches. As you guys know, I'm the guy who's known as close on video without talking to people. So you guys will get examples of real pitches. You can see how we sell SEO through talking to client, as well as our onboarding cheat sheets, so that when you actually get these people, you make that wow first impression, set them up to win, set them up for it to be a long-term thing. So, the combination of over delivering on the client experience plus actually ranking their website, this just leads to raving fans that, want to tell everybody about you and also want to keep you as your best kept secret. So if you guys grab that, I'll make sure to include those for you guys as well.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's super valuable. Being able to see a pitch and how you actually artfully close the client or get them to move forward in their buying process. That type of content is just not out there. Very hard to come by that type of stuff. So super valuable. I would love to see that video too.
Yeah. Well, it's not super complicated. I mean, it's really just analysis of here's where you're at. I just know from years of doing this, especially for those of you guys who deal with local businesses, they really hate their competitors. So you can't really mention their competitor name enough times in that process, because that's what actually drives the sale. It's not what people think it is of hey, you're gonna have more leads and more sales. It's that guy, Manick's a terrible fucking lawyer. How can he be ahead of me? He's never even tried a case. Well, do you want to beat Manick? That's my job right here, is to fix all these things so that asshole stops stealing all your cases. It's a lot of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we used a lot of that type of reporting and really focusing a lot on the competitors in all of our audits. And on that note, I want to show you guys really quickly our on-page audit tool, which is a sales gangbuster. What you can do, plug in the keyword that the client wants to rank for, enter their webpage here, and you're going to get a full holistic SEO audit of that client's content score, their authority metrics, their technicals, their PSI metrics of their website, and it breaks down them versus their competitors in the SERPs and shows them where the gap is. Why is it that they're not ranking well? Maybe their content score is not good. Maybe they've got a bad load time. Maybe they've got low authority. So this has been really powerful for sales. And you guys are going to be able to share this as a public URL, white labeled. You can also generate it as a report that exports to Google Docs. And you can give that to the client as well as part of the sales pitch. So definitely use Frankie's framework. And I'm just showing you guys a couple of tools in here in Search Atlas that you guys can use to complement that audit process and enhance the storytelling for the sales and the close process, really.
Cool. All right, Monica, I got to go eat some food and drive my nanny home. I appreciate you coming in here and doing this for us. This is super cool. And you blew my mind. It takes a lot to blow this old man's mind who's done SEO for 2 decades now. And you blew my mind, my man. So we appreciate
that. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Guys, if you like this video, you're also going to want to grab some free bonuses, which you can get at our website, Beyond Agency Profits. To make it easy for you, I've put the links to it in the description of this video, as well as pinned in the top comment. And we've got a couple of awesome things. This is what you'll get after you sign up. You get some of our best training, how we're closing clients over Loom videos, how we sometimes sign clients that is not a misprint for under $5 US. How to demonstrate your value in like amazing ways, trainings, how to have your clients write the best copy of your life, how we're closing without phone calls, campaigns that we've generated for clients that have done over $100,000, as well as scripts you can use to get conversations going with clients in under 10 minutes. All you got to simply do is go there, enter your name and email address, and then this is what you'll see on the other side. So if that's interesting to you, make sure to click the links below, and I will see you on the other side.